Welcome everybody to the first ever EMJ PGA podcast. This has been 9 months in the making, probably 9 months in the making since we did our first Instagram live previewing the Masters last year. Thank you to everybody who's followed all the social media accounts in the last few weeks. In the lead up to this, it's felt like literally, it's probably been bang on 1 month, but it's felt like a lot longer. So thank you everybody for waiting and staying patient with us, and apologies if anything comes up a little bit iffy, either through audio or if you're watching on YouTube. Hopefully this all looks clear to you guys. We're hopefully going to get better at this as we go along, but because we're seasoned pros at this now, thanks to last year's Instagram lives, we're hopefully going to provide you with some good content going forward in these next few weeks. What's the purpose of this show here today? The purpose of this show is to lay down how it's going to be in the weeks and months coming forward with this podcast. Okay, this podcast is solely about golf. Okay, but like all sports, there's elite level golf and then there's not elite level golf, all right? And hopefully we're able to cover and touch on all those little bits which might be a bit more relatable to you guys if you're watching, or if you're a tour coach and you're watching this, God knows what you're doing, first and foremost, like what are you doing? But we'll hopefully be able to talk to you in some sense as well. The person sat hopefully to my right once I edit this, okay, is the main man, the person who gave me a lot of content last year on the Instagram lives. He's got the opinion, as you can see from what he's wearing. This guy's unhinged with some of his views. This guy's proper unhinged with some of his views, and he's going to be a big conversation topic today. But Ben Hartshorn, podcast co-host. All right, Ben, yes. Welcome to the podcast.
Thank you very much. It's an honour to be here, and it's an honour to be taking it up a level from our Instagram lives, and we're hitting the big leagues. So I'm very happy and excited to be here to chat more about golf.
Yeah, I mean, like it's what we do anyway. Like if we're already talking about golf, why not make it a podcast? And then final formal bit of information. All right. Hopefully, if you are listening to this on Apple, give us a follow. Spotify, likewise, give us a follow, and YouTube, subscribe, because between both of us, I'm pretty sure we'll come up with some first, like, honest and what we 100% think, but also some maybe controversial thoughts as we go along as well. And we want to hear your guys' reaction. So if we're speaking utter rubbish, let us know, because we need to be able to. If we're disagreeing on something, we need the public's opinion on what we're disagreeing on. But there we go. So Ben. Cool. Here we go. We're going to introduce the whole podcast, okay? Talk to me about why it is you're so buzzing to be on this podcast. What has got you into this mad game that we all play? And just talk to me about your golfing experience. You know, what have you got cooking up for us?
It's a good point. Thank you for asking me that. My golfing experience. You'll probably be surprised about some of my really intellectual opinions, but I'm a very, very bang average golfer, very, very bang average golf watcher as well. But I do keep up with the golf. I play a lot of golf, especially in the summer, and I absolutely love golf, and it is an addiction. And as many of you will know, it is it draws you in and it catches you, and it captures you probably for the rest of your life. And it has done that to me, and that's why I'm excited to be talking about it, giving my opinions, how right or wrong I am, which most of last year, if you watched our live streams, I was very wrong on most of my thoughts about things. So excited to be here, excited to add to my golfing knowledge, and to give maybe a different insight, a different look of maybe what Euan will give you as a PGA professional. Because I'm a very bang average golfer, so...
Well, I'm actually gonna prop you up a little bit more than that. Like, Ben's a really solid player, so I work with a lot of players who maybe maybe a wanting to get to Ben's standard. Now, don't get me wrong, like all of us, Ben can throw in the odd interesting moment, yeah. But I think you find when you go down your local club and you have your Saturday medal that you'd find it hard to find a playing partner who isn't going to throw in an interesting moment. So I definitely wouldn't see that as a bad thing, and also it makes the golf course more entertaining. Obviously, as Ben alluded to there, I'm going to hopefully bring a little bit more composure to the podcast. I'm going to bring the more professional view on the podcast. Maybe not all the time, but yeah. No. Obviously, recently qualified as a PGA professional. So and you know my day job is helping everybody, like hopefully yourselves listening to this, with their golf game. And so, being literally living in golf for however many years that I have done, hopefully I can sit here and help you guys if you've got any questions, and also review the weekend's golf with a little bit more of an analytical and a critical mind. However, Ben's very good on the live streams last year, even though neither of us picked anything good last year. Ben's very good at analysing the golf. He's going to just cut straight to the point. So we've got both ends of the spectrum. Both on golf analysis and the actual spectrum analysis as well.
Can I say one more thing? So, I mean, we're both ends of the spectrum, absolutely. So I am a very, very average golfer, but I'm also a member of a golf club. So Euan is a PGA professional. I am a member of a very rare, unique golf club. So I understand the ins and outs of a different golf world, from very far-fetched from the professional golf world. My family run a golf club now. So in that sense of the running of a golf club, I do understand golf. I feel like maybe in a different way. So you're going to get both ends of the golfing world / spectrum, I hope.
Yeah, 100%. And if we haven't bored you with that little bit of an introduction, all right, however many minutes in, if you haven't already turned off, all right, we're now into our bread and butter, okay? Our bread and butter, so to speak, all right? We're going to tackle the golf that's already happening, the golf news as it comes in, like loads of golf news the last couple of years. I feel like if we'd have started this podcast a couple of years ago, Jesus Christ, we would have been inundated with stuff that we could have talked about. So we're hopefully going to cling on to the back of the LIV Golf drama, PGA Tour drama, and talk about that as the news comes in. And as I said, every week we'll review the tournament that's just been and preview the tournament that's just about to come. On major weekends and particular big tournament weekends, we'll throw in 2 podcasts a week, a review of the weekend before and then a preview of the big events. But it's a little bit of a slow time of the year for golf right now. Even though I was really, really happy to sort of see a few big-ish names out on the course this week in Dubai. If you do follow us on social media, you would have seen we both made our picks for this week in Dubai, and both of them really quite average. Ben beat me with his pick, which I'll give him a lot of credit. I'll give him a lot of credit for that. But yeah, and I will also own up and say I have been so busy, I haven't even had a chance to watch the golf. I haven't watched any football this weekend. I have been up to my neck busy this weekend. So I don't think, this is again selling ourselves really, really well. I don't think Ben has watched much either, but we've both had a little bit of a dabble in the highlights before the show and had a little look. And Nacho Elvira picking up the title this week. And the DP World Tour starts technically, I think it's the Australian. It's the event before the Australian Open. I'm pretty sure the DP World Tour season starts. But let's be honest, I mean, we get to the turn of the year, we were always looking for these Middle Eastern events, and the Dubai Invitational was the first one of that. Nacho Elvira picking up the win. Ben, did you see anything this weekend that sort of you liked or didn't like?
I didn't see anything unsurprising. I've sort of read a report about watching any shots from the week. Again, you mentioned the picks. I mean, Tristan Lawrence, my pick, came joint 10th, which I was quite happy with. He was about 4th leading into last night. I mean, your pick, Fleetwood, didn't even get under par for most of the weekend. Did he finish even par? I think he did.
I think he for the tournament, yeah.
I think he finished even par. Such had an average week. Tristan Lawrence was a bit better. McIlroy again, just doing what he does best and just getting in the top 10 and really sort of not doing anything. Daniel Hillier in second, Julian Guerrera third, Shane Lowry. And again, I don't know if you knew what Shane Lowry did on the final hole, but it sounded like he had a bit of a mare on the 72nd hole.
Yeah.
What do you know about that?
Yeah, no, I did hear about that, but again, I haven't had a chance to actually see what went on there. He'll be a little
No.
bit disappointed, especially finishing a couple back off Elvira. Yeah,
Yeah.
obviously saw McIlroy making a few birdies there today. Like again, a solid showing from him. He'll be warming up into it, and he might feature in both our picks for the rest of the year and next week. He's going to feature heavily in some of those picks, but just looking at it, they set the course up tough. Do you know? You text me. What was it on Friday? You said, "What the hell's going on in Dubai?" And we're so conditioned to see beautiful conditions, not much wind out there. Just absolutely pristine surfaces, and the best players in the world going under par. Yeah, okay, it wasn't quite the elite field. There was a couple of big names, but when McIlroy's 8 under for the week, when Lowry's 8 under for the week, when, as you said, Lowry's battling to break par. Fair play to the guys in Dubai there for setting up that golf course the way that they did, because we don't want to see like these birdie fests. I think that's another thing that we probably can agree on. Like, one of the most exciting weeks for us both is US Open week, and just watching players chop it about. I think there's a balance to be had, but I think 10 under for a 4-day event is a solid score, and fair play to the guys there for setting that up. Nacho Elvira, You're gonna think I'm pulling your leg here, right? But obviously, I was making my picks earlier on in the week. Nacho Elvira, right? You're gonna laugh at this. Nacho Elvira has a beautiful golf swing, and even better, a beautiful putting stroke. Okay, so one of the things you will get to know about me over the, not necessarily like
high level pro.
Obviously the stroke's obviously got to be decent, okay? So you're not going to find anyone with a mad stroke, okay, necessarily, okay? But there are different setups, there are different grips. Nacho Elvira looks like he was born with a putter in his hand, okay? And I saw this when I used to work behind the bar a few years ago, and the TV was, the golf was on, and I thought, who the hell is that? I'm pretty sure it was the Alfred Dunhill. And he had a good finish at the Alfred Dunhill a couple of years back, and that's when he first came onto my radar. And I watched him hit a couple of putts. I thought, oh my God, that is how you're meant to look when you're putting. Like, he is absolutely spot on. And but then I had a little bit of a research into him off the back of that, and obviously at that point he hadn't really done much in his career, and he's not even like he's a young player. I'm pretty sure he's early 30s, Nacho Elvira. So he's been knocking around the small tours, but to see him come out and get a bit of form under his belt and to pick up a win there in Dubai is quality. So absolutely not surprised. Again, that's a nice golf swing to model yourself around, and an unbelievable putting stroke and set up to model yourself around if you are interested in getting better at those aspects of your game, for sure. But yeah, like warming up into 2026 with a decently set up golf course. I think it'll bode well for some of the players who actually turned up there. Your McIlroys, your Fleetwoods, your Lowrys. I might be inclined to pick those players, or a player that played well there next week. I mean, why would you not do that? But yeah, I thought it was a decent event, and me and Ben will both make an effort to watch a little bit more golf this weekend. As I said, we've been ridiculously busy this weekend, so we haven't actually had a chance to see any of the golf that we're talking about right now. But yeah, that's absolutely spot on. So off the back of Dubai, okay, a little bit it would lead us on nicely to this weekend coming. We're going to come on to predictions a little bit later on. Okay, golf news. There's one big bit of golf news that's dropped the last week or so, and that features one of the biggest names in the game, who may happen to be draped across my co-host's t-shirt. Brooks Koepka's back on tour. Ben, give me your thoughts.
Brooks Koepka back on tour. I was thinking about how do I compare this news to other sports, so people can to give people a different perspective on it. I mean, I actually think Messi's better than Ronaldo, but Ronaldo, probably the second best footballer ever's lived. He went round the leagues. Again, he started in the Portuguese league. He went to England. He went to Spain. He went to Italy. I get he's in Saudi now, but this is what Brooks Koepka's doing. You can't blame him for going over to live. He just went over there. Again, was he that dominant? No. He did win some events in his first 2 years, but he got tired of it. And actually, on another podcast, I was listening to I was into Rick Shields, to be fair, and he was talking about how he was in a weird situation with Liv and his team. Is he Smash GC Kepka? I think he was.
Yeah, I'm pretty sure
He was in a
yeah.
weird situation where he was the team manager, where every other team had a representative, like a professional, not a golfer, who kind of managed the team. Again, I presume for its marketing, for its PR, for everything like that. Where in a weird way, Kepka was Smash GC's team manager, and
Okay.
so I think he got a bit pissed off with that. But he's back. Brooks wants to win the Grand Slam. Brooks has realised the talent that he has, the obscene talent that he has, and again, I watched Brooks at the end of last year. He went to the Spanish Open. He went to the French Open. End of last year, DP World Tour. He came third at the French Open. I remember watching because he was leading the whole week. And I can't remember. There's someone like Courtier, a French guy, won, and he got done. Koepka made like a double on the 17th. And I thought, I get you trying to get world golf ranking points, but you can tell. I felt like we were smelling it. We're smelling Brooks. He wants to play. I don't get why he's given the example, not the example, the reason that it's family reasons he's left with, because he's literally just and tried to get back on the PGA Tour to play more events. So yeah, amazing news. Great to have Brooks back, and he'll be heating up for the majors, especially where the US Open is going this year. So yeah, buzzing for Brooks to be back.
Yeah, no, he's definitely someone to look at for that US Open at Shinnecock this year.
Yeah.
That's for certain.
Yeah.
Like, I find it interesting. I've got a lot more. I'm a bit hot and cold with Brooks Koepka. Sometimes I think, wow, what a guy. Sometimes I think, what's going on? You know, like, he looks a bit unhinged. Like, is he acting a bit big for his boots? Like, the record speaks for itself. I was just interested to see, like, he was the one always agitating, at least the last couple of years, just making the odd comment like he didn't really fancy it. Like, you know, I can't remember exactly the comments off the top of my head, but he was always someone I thought, oh, it doesn't seem like he's enjoying himself over there on that tour and maybe playing as little as he is. The thing is, though, that would usually affect performance. That was the big argument against Liv. Oh, they're not going to be warmed up for the majors when they get the invites. Okay. Now, to be fair, I will say against Koepka, he hasn't really performed great in the majors. So actually, when you look at the validity of the reasons why he's coming back, that probably is a massive reason. But he's had a couple of close. In fact, he's won one since he's been at Liv. He had a close call running Rahm at the Masters a couple of years ago. So I find it interesting that he'd come back with obviously the financial penalties involved. He's going to lose a decent bit of money. I think between 14 and 18 million pounds this year they're predicting, $1 million this year they're predicting. I find it an interesting move how he's so keen to get back, and I'm actually so in support of it. So in support of it. Golf's the best sport in the world when the best players in the world are all under one umbrella. Like, also, can we just rewind real quick? We had Koepka compared to Cristiano Ronaldo about 18 minutes into podcast number 1. That needs looking at. You messaged me the other week. Brooks Koepka's second best player ever.
Yeah, no, I think that I actually would back that based off his ball striking ability, basing off the aura he sort of walks around and plays his game with, and he doesn't let too much get to him, Brooks, and he may come across a bit cold and like he doesn't actually give a about anyone else but himself. But I think I also like saying he's the second best golfer in the world, because he will become that once he gets going in the next 2 or 3 years. He will become the second best golfer in the world if he's not already.
You genuinely think he's gonna have a close shot at the Grand Slam?
Yeah, I think so. I mean, the two type of courses he's got to go and win at are ones he hasn't really done well at. He has done well at the Masters. I think he's finished second twice. I mean, he nearly beat Tiger in 2019, didn't he? Ran Tiger close. So he can do it at Augusta. The open venues, I mean, he is pretty terrible over the Atlantic over here. He has been alright. I was looking at again the open venue this year, Birkdale. He came about 5th in 2017. So he has got it in him, and I said, I messaged you saying, like, when he starts hitting that ball low, like, the world will be in trouble. Once he starts nailing that ball flight a little bit better in these open venues, it doesn't get off as he does. I think he'll be so dangerous.
Yeah, I said earlier that he lose between 14 and 18 million dollars. That's absolutely incorrect. I've just had a little search up because I knew I'd seen the figure between 50 and 90 million dollars this year alone, because he doesn't get the incentive, the PIP, player impact program. He doesn't get that. He doesn't get the privileges of that. So they think through that he's going to lose 50 to 90 million dollars, and then I'm pretty sure there's other incentives in there as well. That's why I've been looking down here, just trying to find the list of sort of conditions that the PGA Tour have put in place, the player returning program. I don't know if you've got any thoughts on it. I don't know if you had a chance to read it up. Like, whilst you're giving your thoughts, I'm going to try desperately to find the conditions that the PGA Tour put out to returning players.
Yeah.
But I mean, again, it's very exclusive. Like, they're pretty much saying to 4 guys, like, you can come back if you want, and these will be the conditions, and you only get this year to do it, which I think we all know will be, like, absolutely not the case. I think that we're waiting. They'll do this sort of thing every January where they open up a little bit of a portal, a little bit of a window for those players to come back. Bryson's another one who's agitating. He isn't signing his deal from what we're hearing. So I don't know what your thoughts were on the PGA Tour in terms of, like, if you're the PGA Tour, as I said, like you said earlier on, experience of running a golf club, if you're looking at the PGA Tour as a golf club, which effectively it is, if it's a mini club within itself, the tour acts like a club within itself. What is your thoughts on them allowing players to come back? Because a couple of years ago you had players like Fitzpatrick coming out very strongly, obviously McIlroy's coming out very strongly and going, no, not at all, and now here we go.
I think the PGA Tour will bend over for the best players, and they've done that instantly. The second Koepka said, "I'm coming back." Koepka and DeChambeau, there's often something's gone on with the management at LIV, and Greg Norman's not involved anymore, is it? Which I don't know has an influence. No. And I saw Greg Norman talking quite I can't think of the word, quite badly, let's say. Scalingly about Koepka, about DeChambeau. So I think something's probably gone on with LIV, where I think they've just got off. They got pissed off with the wetness of the team format. They got pissed off with all the crap players they're playing with. Like, Brooks just does not want to play with his brother Chase because he's shit. And that's obvious. And I'm pretty sure they've given Chase like the captaincy of the team now. So which is terrible for Smash GC because they'll be awful. But regarding I'd like to hear your opinion. But as a club, I think if they're that good, they've got that many majors, and if they will bring the PR and the attention back to the PGA Tour, they will allow the player back. There's no way if Phil Mickelson wanted to come back, the PGA Tour would not let him back. And I know he's not in that form, but the PGA Tour, it doesn't matter what McIlroy and Fitzpatrick think the wetters. Like they don't actually matter. I know McIlroy thinks he matters, but it is the aura of the player. It is the majors they've got, and again, John Rahm will be following DeChambeau and Koepka in the next 18 months, I'd imagine, because he'll get off if he's not winning majors. So,
you could say so. We're going to come on to our major predictions in a little bit. I've got a bit of a. I've got a bit of a 2 cents on that, but yeah. No, I think that the PGA Tour will do exactly that. You know, if they get a sniff of DeChambeau, like that's it. Now, like the LIV guys have played an absolute blinder here. By the way, if you're of a level where you can at least compete in the majors, do you know? Interestingly, there's a couple of guys who might get cut adrift from maybe that, because again they're only eligible for major winners, the in terms of the invitation back or the hint of invitation back, so it's only eligible to major winners, so that cuts off a couple of names who are pretty decent names and pretty big names in the world of golf who won't obviously get that thing, and I'd be interested to see how this suits them, but yeah, like I think if you hear DeChambeau's interested, the tour needs to get him back, and they played a blinder because somewhere, like it was a couple of years ago, this is what McIlroy banged the drum for, like the prize pots for the tour events now have gone up exponentially. So Koepka's walking back in, taking a penalty has taken a financial penalty and probably ended up playing for similar prizes that he would have won actually before he left, and as a result, and then just ended up getting a massive. I don't know if it's tax-free, obviously, with him being in the US, but in Saudi, it's all tax-free, isn't it? Like, taking the amount of money he's got just to be able to come back and win a major at the same time, that is an unbelievable move. DeChambeau will be looking at that thinking the same. Rahm will be looking at that thinking of doing the same. I'd not be surprised if in a year's time we see all of those players back. I don't know what all of their contract situations are with LIV in terms of... how many years they've got left. Obviously, DeChambeau's only got 1 year left, but it'll be interesting to see. But just on the last point on the LIV and the PGA Tour thing, players like Tyrrell Hatton, players like Joaquin Niemann, these are players that I'd want to see on the tour. I mean, and they've obviously chose LIV. It looks like... I saw a good tweet the other day, like the moment DeChambeau leaves LIV, LIV's done. LIV's done. Like, it's absolutely done. Koepka's is keeping them hanging on by a thread. But the moment that DeChambeau doesn't sign that contract and leaves back to the tour on a free, not even needed to be bought out or do anything dodgy with his contract, that is done. So for those guys to be sort of cut adrift, I'd be interested to see the PGA Tour's policy on those sorts of players.
Yes, I agree with all that. I wonder what, because obviously there was a lot of talk and Trump was getting involved with a deal, wouldn't they, with LIV and the PGA? Yeah. I wonder if I do think it will only take DeChambeau to come back along to PGA if that deal will be fast forward and LIV will, and there will be a deal made with the PGA Tour and all those players will be back, and it'll be some sort of new tour with maybe some different events, maybe some different formats. You never know. But yeah, and again, like someone like, again, you mentioned Neiman and Hatton. I mean, people like Patrick Reed. I mean, the guy finishes in the top 10 most Masters tournaments. And I know he knocks around the DP World Tour as well, doesn't he? Often at the end of the season. So it's absolutely fascinating.
No, it'll be interesting to see how that rolls around. But what's your prediction in a year's time? How many? Let's just put DeChambeau, Rahm, Cam Smith, and is there another major winner that I'm missing in the last couple of years? I'm pretty sure that obviously. Phil obviously, and you could say obviously that Patrick Reed obviously won one obviously before he went over there, but I'm pretty sure. Let's just say Rahm, DeChambeau, and Smith. Out of the three, how many are back on tour at this point next year?
I think if it's not DeChambeau, the LIV will survive. So I think it'll be one. I don't think that this will be like a real fast process. It might be slower than we think, because they can't. Yeah, it'll be slower than we think. And that person will be Rahm. I would think the next will come along.
Do you reckon Rahm?
Doesn't strike me as someone. Yeah, Cam Smith doesn't strike me as someone that makes a quick decision on these things because he's an Aussie.
Yeah,
but
yeah, he's there on his barbecue, like deciding, like as he's turning over like his shrimps and kangaroo. He's probably got on there. Yeah, absolutely. Yeah. I agree. I saw a good thing just about like if I'm DeChambeau, I'm walking in like negotiating, like just basically saying you need to give me everything you've got because like the moment that I don't go, like the moment that I go, like you're screwed basically. Like who's going to want to turn up and see respectfully Tyrrell Hatton knock it round in the shotgun start, doing that. Like I don't think many people are going to rock up to JCB in 2027 knowing that DeChambeau isn't there, so that'll be interesting to see. He could get a massive deal as a result of Koepka leaving, just a little bit more leverage in his court. So I'd actually agree with you. I think that Rahm might second guess himself. Maybe Ryder Cup eligibility comes into it because again he might not have won a major in that time. Ryder Cup eligibility might come into it and he might be struggling, so he might decide to do that. But no, really really interesting stuff, and we'll obviously keep you posted with all the news that comes out in the next few weeks, give our thoughts on it. I'm sure that won't be the last of the LIV and PGA Tour drama. Looking ahead then, so we've covered all things of the past, all right? Looking ahead, Dubai Desert Classic this week, okay? have you got any thoughts on it? Are you going to have time to watch it this weekend? I'm definitely going to make a conscious effort to watch a good bit of the golf this weekend. Do you know why I don't watch golf in this time of year, though? Do you know why I don't watch golf?
Because you don't want to see the sun somewhere else.
100%. 100%. Honestly, I'm sick to death of like rocking up on a Sunday. Do you see the weather today? Just ridiculous. Like I couldn't even see 2 yards in front of me because of the fog. And then I've got to turn on watching Rory just like bomb 330-yard drives over like loads of cactus and a 30-degree day. Like he playing shorts if he could. I'm just like, get me out there, and I'm stuck inside watching that. So obviously, I'm going to watch a bit of golf this weekend. I'm going to have golfer's envy watching them all out there. Have you got any thoughts on who you might pick?
Yeah, I mean, just on your point about the golf, I mean, I always think the time to watch golf is when you're playing golf, and it's very hard to watch golf when you can't go out. I know you've been practicing this week, but it's not the same of us going out and playing and then watching.
Had 64 layers on hitting balls on the range.
It's either absolutely. It's either almost like no golf at all, no watching golf, no playing it, or watching it, playing it, living it. It's one, for me anyway. It's one or the other. So this week, Dubai. So it was the Dubai Invitational last weekend. It's now the Dubai Desert Classic. Dubai, the Hero Dubai Desert Classic. Actually, I've just
of course, got to forget the Hero. Can't forget the Hero.
So. You know what? Like I hate McIlroy, but I reckon McIlroy will probably win. So it sounded like he's worked on a few things, which is great for him over the Christmas break. So yeah, I'll go for McIlroy, and you know what? He won't win it just out of spite of me. But who do you think?
Yeah, I mean, I don't mind that pick. I was obviously going to think about McIlroy and picking him. You know, obviously he's. Again, I'm always on the verge of saying McIlroy's the best player in the world, and then Scheffler will win a couple of majors this year, and you can't really go out and say that. So it's difficult to put that on it. So I'm gonna pick a bit of a rogue one, but I'm gonna pick it anyway. I don't even care. I do reserve the right to change my mind. So if you do see this on social media and obviously this name isn't next to my face, then that's because I've changed my mind. All right. But I'm just playing off again. It's warm. It's Spanish-like weather. A Spaniard won last week. Okay. With a Spaniard with a pretty golf swing, won last week. I'm going to pick another Spaniard with maybe even a prettier golf swing. I'm going to pick Angel Ayora this week. I follow him on pretty much every social media platform. If you haven't seen Angel Ayora's swing, technically that is as good of a golf swing as you'll see. Okay, let's just pick the prettiest swing. Let's go out. I'll pick Adam Scott. I'll pick Ernie Els. I'll pick Vijay Singh. You know, but obviously those players maybe not cutting it. I'll pick Fred Couples. But no, the reason I'm picking it is he's actually in good form. Angel Ayora. He's always up there. He loves a top 20. Especially at the back end of last year. His home club is a course that I played on as a kid. Like you will have seen the picture because it's on like the one that I'm most tagged in. I'm pretty sure. Like so the tee box, and you've got like Gibraltar in the background. I want to say it's like I'm not going to try and butcher the name. Hacienda Links, La Hacienda Links, I'm pretty sure it is. Anyway, that's a good golf course, good golf complex as well. Angel Ayora, if you don't know, get to know, because I think he's going to win a couple of events this year, and I reckon he might sneak onto the PGA Tour next year as well as a result of a good year this year. So screw it, we're picking Angel Ayora. And that leads us on the vibe. Go on.
I would say Angel Ayora 13th last week.
Yeah, he's steady. He's plodding along.
Don't you think there's a lot of players on the DP World Tour with like amazing golf swings, but they never quite cut it. Like I just remember like Thomas Dietrich every year. Like Thomas Dietrich's like 6'5",
good golf swing,
like a monster. Like, but has never done anything since he's hit PGA Tour. And I just think it's just interesting. These guys with great swings. It shows how elite the elite are, I suppose. But it's just
Yeah.
fascinating. I think there's some great DP World Tour's got some really interesting players and characters. I always think, but
Yeah, I think the DP World Tour, especially at this time of year when the PGA Tour is a little bit slower, the DP World Tour has some
yeah,
quality events, and
mm,
they're not going to they're not going to appreciate, like, they're just saying it how it is, but it is a stepping stone tour for obviously the PGA Tour, and it's always interesting to see which players make it and which players don't. You are right, like a good golf swing doesn't buy you it doesn't buy you a right to be on the PGA Tour. It doesn't buy you a right to be on the TV. But if you've got a pretty golf swing and then you're backing up results, I think the coach in me would tends to lean towards those players who look really, really good whilst playing really, really good golf. So I'm massively in Angel Aura's camp, and I just had a couple of research of his finishes, top tens in the Abu Dhabi event last year and the Tour Championship. I'm pretty sure he finished eighth or ninth in that as well. So yeah, he knows how to play down in that part of the world, and fair play to him because he's got a very, very pretty move, and there's me just salivating over a Spanish kid's golf swing for about 5 minutes, but that's what we all came for. Yeah, over a kid. Yeah. Podcast one, salivating over a kid. That's we won't put that as the name. We won't title
not
that.
me, you.
No,
we're it's not a we, but it's you.
Lad, don't, because if someone local bursts onto the scene, you'll be salivating. So don't come at me now, all right? So predictions. We're on the predictions vibe, okay? We've predicted this weekend coming, okay? We are now going to predict a couple of other things, okay? We are going to predict the major winners right now, and again, we will say that we reserve the right to change our mind, because obviously we're not going to make our official picks. Yeah, we're not gonna make our official picks right this second, okay? But we technically are as well, so just ignore what I'm saying. But yeah, we're gonna predict each of the four major winners, okay? We're gonna predict the player of the year. So Scheffler's been a little bit dominant on that front, okay? But the player of the year, and that doesn't necessarily mean FedEx Cup winner. That just basically means who basically is the best player of the year. Voted, it's voted, so that's a little bit. We might look into coming up with some statistical way of figuring out who's player of the year, but right now we're going to go with the PGA Tour Committee's voting system. And predicting that player of the year, and then we're also going to predict three. Have you got 3 ones to watch each outside the world top 50?
Yes, I have.
Fantastic. So we're going to put 3 ones to watch in there. People who, if you do like an outside punt on the golf, not that we advocate betting 24/7, but if you fancy looking good in front of your friends, I probably wouldn't listen to us, to be honest, with these picks. But we're going to put 3 names each. We might have even picked the same name a couple of times, but we're going to put 3 names each into your heads to watch out for this coming year. Okay, let's get on with it then. So, predictions. We are going to do majors first, okay? As of right now, this has been recorded on January the 18th. Who is going to win the Masters this year, Benjamin Hartshorn?
Benjamin Hartshorn, Benjamin Shirestones predicts
Lawyer.
Bryson DeChambeau will win the Masters. I suppose we'll give little reasons. Based off no real reason, he usually again, I was so angry at him last year the way he used to hook the ball on the final day, the Masters. Like, he literally could not control his ball flight at all. The whole round, he shot like 2 over. But he has done some good things at Augusta National, and I think he actually is a really great golfer. And I think the great golfers will always win at Augusta, and I think he's a great golfer. Not a good golfer, he's a great golfer, and he is one of the greats. So I think he will win, and he'll beat Scheffler, and he'll beat McIlroy. So yeah.
Good pick. Sensible pick. You look at DeChambeau as a player to model yourself around, and ultimately this is what it comes back to. This is what I've spoke about a little bit this week. But if you can just hit the ball really, really far and then you get your putter going. There's only so many situations where you're actually going to be screwed in the sense of you might lose a golf ball, or you might put yourself in a position where you can't at least give yourself a look at birdie. You know, if you give yourself that advantage of making every single hole as short as it can play relative to the rest of the field, then you're going to come up trumps eventually in one of these big events where they're going to stretch the course out and make the rough long, and make it brutal for anybody who's a little bit shorter than you. So DeChambeau, elite player. I'm picking Jon Rahm.
I like that.
Like Masters, like sort of what's the word I'm looking for? Just known for being a golf course that once you won once around there, just always keep a lookout for the past winners, and if there's a past winner who just happens to be one of the best players in the world as well, obviously, okay, Scheffler's going to have a say in that. Rahm's going to have a say in that. But if you're looking at those players who are currently one of the best players in the world and they've already won round there, they're definitely in with a shout. And I think Rahm will be annoyed with this whole live talk again. No, probably they all are. They all carry a chip on their shoulder, even though they've probably got a few $100 million in their back pocket each as a result of making the decision. But he'll probably be annoyed. He'll hear the media attention coming into it. Just basically pleading for him to come back and join the tour. But you don't need to join the tour if you can win majors over at Live and win a whole load more money doing it. So I think Rahm for the Masters. The PGA at Aronimink.
Ron Mink. I was looking up a Ron Mink. I thought, who the hell? Who is this player? And then I saw it was the course. So which is interesting. A little bit of background detail. I mean, I saw it hasn't been played. The PGA's been played there once in 1962, where Gary Player won. So we're looking at 60 years ago.
He'll have a chance this year.
Ron Ming, so he won't be in the field list this year. He may be teeing it off on the first tee at Augusta in April, but my pick, and I really want to go for Xander Schauffele, because I just think when you have a great year like he did in 2024, I often think you do have a poor year the year after, and stuff seems to not go your way. Scheffler's had it a couple of times, but he'll come hard. He'll come hard and fast. This year, but I haven't gone with Xander because of my other picks. I've gone with Scotty because, again, I had a look around a Ron Ming, not there myself actually physically, but on the computer, and it's just a Scotty Scheffler course. He will win a major, and once he's already got a PGA out of the way last year. I think Scotty will win. He'll win a lot of PGA Tour events, but he will win at a Ron Ming this year.
Yeah. Well, we don't need to spend too much time on this because I've put the same. I think Scheffler will win.
Sorry.
I think Scheffler will win with the PGA, and no, there's no need to apologise when there's a world number one, and we're both predicting he's going to win a major. There's a good chance that we're going to pick the same one. Scott Scheffler's going to win a major this year. I think that to say that he won't will be a very, very, very bold comment.
As I just explained, as I just tried to say, he has 22. He won the Masters. He had a year for 23 where he struggled with his putting. 24, he won the Masters. He then went to 2025 and won 2 again. So I just think he will win again. He might not have the strong years he had last year or 24, but I just be shocked if he doesn't win, as obviously you think as well.
Yeah, no. And I think he'll pick up at least a major. Or 2 maybe, depending on my picks as we go forward. Okay, so moving on. Hint. Who do you think will win the US Open, Benjamin Hartshorn? Shinnecock Hills.
Cockshinny Hills. So, Shinny is 6th best golf course in the world according to the Golf Top 100. An amazing golf course, played in 2018. I actually can't wait for this, because obviously it is where my favourite player won his last US Open. He won back-to-back US Opens 2017, 2018, and I think he'll win there again. I really do. I think Brooks will come back hot. These great players, these great names, these great personalities do great things. And I think he will win at Shinnecock Hills. He'll do well to beat Scheffler at Shinnecock Hills for the Grand Slam, but I think he'll do it, and I hope he does.
Right. Well, when he zipped his trousers up after he's met you, then he might have a chance. He might have
If
a
I
chance, but
meet,
he's going to be
oh,
he's lad. You followed him round. You followed him round at St Andrews, and he literally stopped the whole
yeah,
time, and you wasted a day just looking at his frown. And
no,
I thought, what the
not
was the point in that?
not just St Andrews. We went to Royal Liverpool the year later, followed him for a whole 18, like miss every birdie putt, and be so off. So back to back years watching
Yeah.
Koepka be. But I will love you anyway. I mean, we can't
There
even
we
talk
go.
our
Do you know
favourite
what?
golf forever. Our favourite
Yeah.
golfer, we watched at
Yeah.
St Andrews, and it was the worst thing we've ever seen. So
Yeah, it wasn't ideal. It wasn't ideal, but
no,
but um, Kepka's got a chance. Kepka knows that track. I think it's just too good to be true. Too good to be true. Even though
yeah,
I look at my predictions here now, and I don't have Kepka, and I'm scared. I am scared that as a result of playing a little bit more. What do we know about Kepka? Never really picks up any wins. I think he's won in Phoenix, but I think he's won like 4 times on the PGA Tour. He had quite a good
yeah.
career on the European Tour back in the day. But I think he's won 4 times on the PGA Tour and won 5 majors or so. Obviously, that probably isn't the case. He might have won a few more times than 4, but in my head, I can remember him winning 2 or 3 times, and not many more times than that. But he might pop his head up in one of these majors. I think it's a little bit too good to be true at Shinnecock for the US Open. I think that's one of the events. As you said, he'll probably be looking at that Grand Slam. I think the US Open at Shinnecock is probably one of the weeks where if he's got like a certain amount of major wins, like tokens in his back pocket, he probably doesn't want to waste one doing the US Open
No.
again for a 3rd time. I know that sounds a bit ridiculous. You've got players like
But
Faldo with 3 Opens, 3 Masters, but he probably wants to get he probably wants to complete the set, and wasting one at Shinnecock, he'll probably be drinking a few too many Bud Lights the night before. I bet before Shinnecock, just reminiscing about the old days.
I agree with what you say about Faldo, and again, he's only won PGAs and US Opens, but sometimes that happens, and he's just got a feeling at a US Open that he'll do it, and and he won't be drinking Bud Lights the night before. He will the night after once he's win it on a Sunday night, but the Bud
Yeah,
Lights don't do
you wouldn't
anything to
want to
people
be.
anyway, so it's all right.
Well, no, apparently, yeah. Brooks, they will.
Yeah.
Brooks will be hammered off the Bud Lights. Now, to be fair, as we know, Brooks at that hockey game the one time, I'm pretty sure that wasn't Bud Lights that made his eyes do that at that hockey game.
No.
So that's all
Yeah.
I'll say on that front. I'm picking Scheffler again.
Very good. Very boring.
Yeah, I know. I can't wait to sit on this podcast after the US Open and just review Scheffler winning by 3 and just absolutely strokes gained tee to greening every single player off the park. I always think US Open people think, oh, you've got to be, you've got to be long, you've got to be unbelievable at scrambling when they when you miss greens and they set up these massive runoffs and they make the greens as undulating as possible and they run them at 26 on the stimp and all this stuff. But you actually look at it, if you you've got to drive the ball straight, but iron play, just being boring, being solid, hitting greens. Yes, okay, there's an element of being long to it, but the course actually gets so baked out a lot of these times that and they run it so firm that actually length ends up becoming one of those things where you just go, well, as long as you're pretty steady, as long as your strokes gained tee to green is elite like Scheffler's is, you're going to have a chance. So I just put Scheffler down again. I might change my Open pick right now because I'm looking at what I've wrote down. I'm actually embarrassed for myself, because I can't stand here on my first ever podcast and pick this guy to win the Open. So at Royal Birkdale in the 3rd weekend of July, who's picking up the Claret Jug this year?
Claret Jug. Hopefully, we'll be there.
Yeah.
I mean, I will definitely be. Hopefully, we'll both be on the Sunday. The Open is often the worst major for watching. The last few have been so boring. We watched the most boring Open ever played. I did with Brian Harman winning. Fair play to him for winning in 20. What year was that? Was that 23? 23, 24. Xander Schauffele dominated. 25. Scheffler dominated. I can't see. I can't see any differently, and I don't think Scheffler will win because I just don't think golf it'll work like that. I just thought who's like another beta American player who's good enough to win a major, and they'll never do it in America, but they'll somehow just come and do it on an open venue. I think Cam Young, one of your favourite players, Cam Young, will win the Open. So
Yeah,
and I hope I will stick by that by July because again he was so close to beating Cam Smith back in 22. He's a great player, US's best player arguably at the Ryder Cup. He's obviously got something in him. He's got a great swing, as you probably would explain to us how good his swing is. And I I hope he does. He seems like a good guy, Cam Young. So I hope he does win it if it's going to be an American, I suppose.
yeah, interesting guy Cam Young. Like he's from New York, and New York, like, or they're all known for being like really loud and boisterous, and again probably on the Bud Lights, 6 days a week. But he doesn't speak. Cam Young doesn't even react.
No.
Like he can. I mean that one hole in it against us. Who was he playing first out this year for you? It was Fleetwood. I want to say it was Fleetwood. Fleetwood. Like, yeah, I think it might have been either one of those two. Doesn't say that's the first time I've seen him do anything like in terms of like not just pick the ball up out the hole and tip his cap and do anything like that. I love Cam Young to bits, but like I thought, Jesus, like is someone controlling him like with a remote or something like because he's a very interesting character. And probably that's exactly what you need to go and win the Open. Just be really, really again like oh it's raining, don't care. It's really firm today, don't care. A proper Jason Duffner sort of player, Cam Young, where he just literally zero emotion. So yeah, I don't mind that pick. I've gone the same route. How many times and how many years are we going to sit here trying to pick a British player to win the Open? Yeah. It never happens. So I've gone down the same lines. I've actually picked the first name I had down. I didn't like at all. The second name I had down, just because he had a solid year last year. And I think he knows what it takes, and he will know what it takes to just pick up a little cheap Open, like you say. I've picked Sam Burns to win the Open. Strokes gained leader in putting last year on PGA Tour. Really? So an elite putter of the golf ball, Sam Burns. Again, you wouldn't really know that, but again, these Americans who come in, do their work, get gone. These are players that you've got to look out for when the Open rolls around at Royal Birkdale in July. So, I picked Sam Burns, and the reasoning is literally just that he's American and that probably no one will care about it on the Monday after he wins. But yeah, that's what seems to happen every year. So we're going to do it again and pick it again. Good major picks.
I mean, what I would say is I hope that it's not a boring American Open and the European boys get going. I mean, it is so close to where Fleetwood grew up, Royal Birkdale. It would be amazing to see him go well, to see McIlroy go well, to see Lowry go well. What we'd give for Justin Rose to win an Open would be incredible. So let's hope it's not as we predicted.
Yeah, and I say this every year, but like this is just shows how I'm. Okay, relatively speaking, it does feel like I'm getting old because now like the Open rotor's coming back around to where like I remember I was pretty much at every single one the last time it was there. So 2017 was at Birkdale and I was there for that, and the crowd were well behind, even though it was full of Scousers, which again the podcast we're inclusive here, but the Scousers they can get on my nerves at times. Let's just say that. They were up for it. And do you know what? Obviously, so was I with it being Fleetwood. They got behind him, and you could just sort of see, like literally, I remember him walking past me pretty close to me the one time, and obviously I was looking out for him, and you could just sort of see it looked a little bit much for him at that time, probably a bit earlier on his career, and he had a good week. I'm pretty sure from what I remember that year, he was there or thereabouts, and then it just didn't quite. Oh, I might have been mixing that up with another Open, another one maybe at Royal Liverpool. I think at Royal Liverpool I'm thinking of. I think he had a better week. He might have even missed the cut in 2017.
No, I think he did do well. I had a look earlier. Hang on.
Yeah, no, I think he'll make the cut, and he might even have a bit of fun on the weekend. But yeah, just a Robert McIntyre, as I said, like something like that, just something British that we can all get patriotic about. Like that's what we're keen for. That's what we want. So let's hope it happens. Okay then, let's give our Player of the Year predictions then. Okay, so with that being said, when it comes around Christmas time this year, I was going to say next year, but this year, Christmas time this year, who are we going to see pop up on our Instagram feeds as the PGA Tour Player of the Year, do you reckon?
I reckon it will be boring again. I don't want to give it to Scheffler, but I think you're going to have to because he will win minimum 4 PGA Tour events probably with a major.
Yeah.
And not that. And this is the important thing, and that's why Tiger was also always very good at times for his career. Scheffler will get top 5s if he doesn't win. So how can you not give it to him? Because he will always be in the picture. He will always be in the conversation at every tournament. So they will beta out the PGA Tour and give it to Scheffler. No one else will be anywhere near him. So yeah, I think it'll be Scheffler.
Yeah. Yeah, it's very hard for me to pick Scheffler to win 2 majors and then pick someone like Matsuyama to win Player of the Year or Cantlay. So yeah, I'm in agreement. I'm in agreement with that. Couple of majors if things go to the plan of my predictions. Couple of majors and a couple of tour events, and knowing Scotty, he'll obviously play the signature events and have a good chance at winning a couple of those. I mean, again, you've got your McIlroy agenda, but how McIlroy didn't win it last year is absolutely beyond me. I don't understand that for the life of me. Like, we just give it to Scheffler. Like, okay, I'll hold my hands up. Scheffler's an amazing player, and you know, he's going to go down as one of the best to ever play. That's a fact. But what the hell was going on there? Just picking Scheffler like last year. Anyway, I rest my case with that.
Yeah.
I don't understand. Obviously, Scheffler had an unbelievable year, but you look at obviously everything, the magnitude of what McIlroy did. Anyway, so there we go. We are finally on to one more prediction element of the podcast left to go. Okay, so this is the bit where we try and offer a little bit of our insight to you guys, so you can sit in the pub and tell your friends about a golfer that maybe your mates haven't even heard of, and we can say that we put you in the direction of a player who pops up in the next 12 months or so, or maybe even beyond, with some players to watch, all right? And the ruling is they cannot be inside the world's top 50 currently as we record this. All being well, all of our picks hopefully will be by the end of the year, but yeah, who are our ones to watch? So do you want to lead us off with your highest? No, in fact, do your lowest. Do you know what the rankings are currently with your players to watch?
No, I was just getting it up now, and I'm just worried that one of mine is inside the top 50 because I just changed it.
Okay, no. It's fine. If they are right now, they're not. As long as it's not John Rahm, as long as we're not watching as long as we're not watching McIlroy in the next 12 months, he's a player to watch. Then we will give it you. We'll give it you with an asterisk.
I'll run through mine quickly. So so I originally put Brooks on it, but I thought I can't pick him for every single thing we spoke about because he is outside the top 50. But yes, so this player is at 49. I've just checked, but we're going to go with him anyway. So and again, he came about 8th this week, and I just kept seeing his name throughout the DP World Tour last year. I read a news article about someone. I think it was Coulthard talking about him. So Neergaard Peterson.
Interesting.
Again, keep an eye on him, and people will talk. Very good last year. He did win. Last year. I don't know where. I do remember him winning. A good player, good swing. He's up there again. Whenever you see the DP World Tour table, he is always on there. Again, young player.
Yeah.
So Neergaard Peterson. My second one is Jason Day. Because again, 2 years ago, Jason Day was suddenly bursting back onto the scene, and then he just went shit again. So I hope he'll be back, Jason Day, because he's a great player, great swing, and a great personality. So I really hope he gets back in the top 50 and competes for majors, or at least get winning on the PGA Tour again.
Yeah.
And my final one is the person I picked this week, great. Did he? I think it was. I presume it was at Troon. Tristan Lawrence, big South African, nuts it around. He's made to win. I don't think necessarily made to win a major, but made to compete. He's already competed at majors. The South Africans are often cold as ice with majors, with winning things. That they also often fast track themselves into great positions, and he's one of them again. So Tristan Lawrence is someone to look out for on the PGA Tour and DP World Tour.
Yeah, love those picks. Love those picks. Yeah, those are really good. And interesting, you went down you went down that Tristan Lawrence route. Jason Day, obviously, a little bit of those ones. I thought about one of those players who's maybe not necessarily dipped down, but like maybe has reached their peak and comes back for a little bit more of a bite your Justin Rose type characters. But I veered off into a little bit more of a young and up and coming one, because this is the, again, I've already salivated over one youngster in today's podcast. I'll be keen to do that as we go forward in these next few best you believe. Right, there's my reputation gone, but as I said, as if it wasn't already, that it's already gone now. But 61st in the world currently, one of the most unique characters you'll ever see.
I know you're going to say
on tour. Yeah, I'm saying him. Harry Hall, 6'4" or 6'5". Honestly, I stood next to him this year at the Scottish Open. I thought, what the heck is going on here? Like, do you know? Do you used to play Tiger Woods PGA Tour?
I actually did at my ex's house, but not at my own.
Oh,
house.
did you? Okay. So yeah, we had to leave that one behind. We had to leave that one that was lost in battle with the Tiger Woods PGA Tour. That's a shame. That's a shame. It's Tiger Woods PGA Tour. Like, when you were born, like, I would never do this because I was always the zesty one that wanted to make it realistic and like pick the real players and do all that. But you get, like, obviously nowadays, like with it being like FIFA, you do your pro clubs characters. Well, if someone was doing a Tiger Woods PGA Tour creator player for career, they'd look exactly like Harry Hall. I walked up to him. I was like, "Are you out of a video game?" He's 6'4". He's bald. He wears a sort of Victorian style short cap. He hits the ball an absolute mile. He hit this approach into like the 9th at the Renaissance, and the 9th obviously there as they set it up. And I always know that 9th. It's just right in the middle of the golf course, basically 200-yard par 3. And he hit this shot, and I thought, what the heck, like, is that? Like, that was ridiculous. It's like a 6-iron. It didn't even get 60 foot off the ground, just penetrating through the wind. I thought, wow, that is something. He had a decent week that week. He had a really good year statistically last year. Harry Hall, in the strokes gain categories, Harry Hall, he might win one of these. Like, I see him as an Aaron Rye character. He might win the odd event, but you turn on a major, I reckon Harry Hall's name will be there or thereabouts in the top 20 of 3 or 4 majors, and he might pick up a couple wins this year on tour. And he's English, and he plays all the time in America. He must have gone through the college system. I'm pretty sure he did. What a player, Harry Hall. So 61st in the world, 68th in the world. Michael Thorbjornsen, 10-finger Thorbjornsen. Just what a swing, what a move. Unbelievable driver of the golf ball. Stanford alumni, like the great Tiger Woods. Burst onto the scene again on the DP World Tour through invites and finishing in the top 5, top 10 in pretty much every invite he got on the DP World Tour whilst being an amateur. Unless I'm being a complete gore, but I don't think he's picked up a tour win yet. I'm 90% sure of that. I don't think he's won on tour just yet. He might have won in one of the sort of PGA Tour, Corn Ferry merger events, but I don't think he has. That will change this 12 months. All right, if Thorbjornsen hasn't won in 12 months' time, I'll be gobsmacked. And then again, one for the cameras. His haircut's ridiculous, but his swing is unbelievable. I'm going for 106 in the world. Jake Knapp to finish. Jake Knapp. I was surprised to see he was 106 in the world. There's obviously a lot of hype around Jake Knapp. You know, a very aesthetically pleasing golf swing, tempo for days. just be interesting to see if he takes the leap this year, makes the leap. That's a little bit more of a hope than an actual logical prediction. But Jake Knapp is my third and final player to watch. And there we go. And there we go. Just like that, we've covered quite a lot in one podcast. Some great stuff, some great insight. Podcast number 1 in the books. As I said, it's only going to get bigger and better from here. We want to try and get guests on. If you're interested in coming on the podcast and you're listening to this, ideally of some golfing merit. I mean, again, you probably look at our opinions today and go, well, we don't need any of that. But ideally of some golfing merit, whether you're a PGA pro, whether you work in the golfing industry, and you have an opinion and you disagree with us, or you want to come on and chat to us about golf or chat to us about something that's happened, please contact me, and we can definitely look into making that happen. But just excited for the next few months and hopefully years of doing this, just talking golf, because so many of you love the game just like we do. And we want to be the sort of neutral voice who offers both a little bit more of a professional and a casual look into all the things that are going on. Again, both at the top level and at your home course. So keep listening, and we'll sort of set up some initiatives and set up some little fun things that might include you guys playing your round of golf in the next few weeks and months. But Ben, podcast 1 in the books. How do you feel about this podcast? How do you feel about going forward, being a part of the part of the team here?
Part of the movement. Very, very excited. Good first podcast. Well put together, and it'd be great to hear from people's thoughts on this, what we can do differently. We'd love to have people on. We'd love to kind of come into the podcast and have a list of comments and questions that people wanted to ask from anyone. So we want your interaction, and then as we're moving forward, I think we've got some big great ideas to get you guys involved, and maybe to look at golf in a different way. We talked a lot about the high level of golf, but again, we'd love to talk about we talk about grassroots football, maybe grassroots golf, we'll call it, and talk to you guys on your rounds, on your golf clubs, on your experiences on a golf course. So yeah, very excited for the future.
Yeah, 100%. And if you want to get in touch, at the EMJ PGA podcast on all your social media platforms, you'll be able to find us. And yeah, get in touch. And most of all, we hope you've enjoyed podcast number 1, because we've certainly enjoyed both last year doing the lives and putting this together. It feels really nice to finally put this in place and get podcast number 1 recorded. So we just hope you've enjoyed it, and looking forward to what's to come. Fantastic. All right then, we will leave it there. Thank you very much for listening, and we will catch you next week to review all the golf in Dubai. We will catch you next week. Thank you very much for listening.